Yeah, actually welcome back to the online version. So we're going to see how we create account, take a test. Now let's start as an admin. So welcome to this online version. Welcome to CBTHost Online version. So the CBTHost Online version contains most of the tools you actually required to take a test to assess a student. So not almost all the tools are actually required for all your tests. There are some tools that are not actually useful, so you just pick what you want to use and leave the rest. So the system is like that's how the system is being designed. So this so now let's try and log in. Now welcome to the user panel. So for the online version, we don't have admin, super admin, student. So everybody on this platform is actually a user. So so these are the platform actually work. You can actually manage what you create. So if you create a quiz, let's say you create a test, only those tests that are actually created you can manage. So nobody can come from anywhere like another person cannot access another person test. The only thing that you guys can actually do, maybe if you buy a subscription plan, so you can actually share your subscription like with your users. Maybe if this is a school account, you buy it for organization account, so you can actually share the subscription. That's all. Apart from sharing of subscription, nothing like admin or super admin in the online version. Everybody is a user. You can only manage what you create, and you can also do data transfer. You can transfer questions in between accounts. So now let's go to create test. So you can remove of your configuration here. You have the publish. You have to publish your test, or your users can actually see your test. You have the open and you have the close. So for the open, anybody can actually access your test and pick your test. That's all. That is the use of the open. While the close is only those guys that actually allow them to write your test and actually that means you assign a test ID to each of your users. That means you get a list of test ID that are unique for each user. Then you upload it to the system. So once the user wants to come and write a test, so the system will actually check if the test is if the test is open access. By default, the user are being forced to use the email on their account to write the test. But if it is closed, that means they will use that test ID you actually gave them to write the test. So the main use of that test ID, the main idea behind the test ID or the student ID, you can call it test ID, you can call it student ID, or it's just being used to identify a user. Maybe you already have a list of students already there on them to write the test. So for you to easily identify who actually wrote the test, and maybe to also prevent unauthorized access, so you use that test ID for each user. Now you have timing. You can schedule it. You can set your time. You can schedule your exam. If you schedule your exam, you can see maybe from so date to so date you want the exam to actually run. So once it exceeds the date, it will not actually do. So you can also schedule it like you can also schedule your test. So some of the features you don't actually need it. can put your passing score required. If it's 0, automatically anybody that score more than 0 has passed the test. So you can make it based on your custom. Maybe you can say your passing your passing score is like that. Now we will display. You can show answer. Maybe if you want them to actually see the answer, you can allow review. You can disable review. So if to some extent, maybe there are some reasons why you want the student to actually see their answers, their test data after they have written the test, the answer they got correct, the one they did not get correct. So you actually do that. Now let's create that. Now this is our test. You click on this icon to manage it. Go from here. You can do the importation of our test. You can import our test. I'm going to give a test. I'm coming here and to get one before it in the main template. That sometimes maybe you may actually format a question and maybe type it in MS Word, like maybe you arrange it based on the format, and there are most issues that actually bring up all those. Maybe you are trying to import a question, the system was not able to put the question. So to make life easier, you have two choices: either you use Excel, type your questions, or you use MS Word. So you have to use one that will be much easier for you. So I also drop a template for you. The template you can use based on how to arrange your options, or you can also give AI to actually generate, like to actually arrange format the quiz for you into the exact template, so you can actually upload it directly here. Now you can see these are questions. So now our test is being published. Now let's say I want to write this test now like this. Let's say for example I want to write this test, share the test. Is I'll copy the link or copy the passcode to give the student. Now let's take the test as a student. You also get the test link and you also give the student likes for the online version. So they use the test link and actually write the test. You can see attempt 1. You can see. So this test was actually a closed access test. So it's actually asking them for a test ID. Let's say they provided a wrong test ID and you click on start. Test ID, so it actually deny them access automatically to bounce them back. That means they are not allowed to actually write the test. Now let's actually import student. Well, if when let's say, please let me go back, let me show you guys something initially. Let's say when we were creating this quiz initially, we put this access type in open access, so it will actually ask you for it will actually force the user to provide test ID. So it was because we didn't actually put it in open access, that's why it was actually forcing the user to provide test ID. Now let's try and provide our test ID. Let's import our student. Let's try and import our student. Now you can see this is the format, the test ID and the test info. So in this case, the test ID can be the student, maybe for for the offline we have student ID, so the test ID can be the student ID too. Maybe it's a specific ID that you normally that you can use to recognize the student. And please, if you are giving student test ID, don't use their name as test ID, because the system actually checked, like it won't allow duplicate, because that's what it actually used to identify a user. So no white space, no duplicate, to avoid no uppercase, just make it lowercase all, or if you want to use lowercase, use lowercase. If you want to use uppercase, you can use uppercase. Now let's actually import some student. Let me see, like I have a list here. Let me see if this list will work. If it won't work, I have to open it and edit the header. Okay, you can see I'm missing test ID now. See, this is my list of Excel file. So let's say, let me make a copy of it because I don't want to actually tamper with it. No, let's go back. Don't forget the system here, test ID. Test info. Don't forget that's how the system was being designed. So you have to do that, because if you don't do that, it actually rejects. So but if it's offline, you leave it on test ID and full name, it actually accept. So most of the columns are being like the header. So I also drop the template so you can also see it and also specify the header, because if you don't specify the header, so the system will always reject it. So for the test info can be their student name, and the test ID should be something unique, something like this, maybe based on how you can generate. It can be combined, it can be anything, it can be number, but it should be unique to a student. So it's being used to actually identify a student. Maybe when you want to prepare a report, maybe you want to combine both the offline and the online, so it will be easy for you to sort out the student that wrote the test online and the student that maybe you wrote their quiz, they wrote their CA online, and their assessment, their exam, they wrote it offline. If you don't want them to have access to internet due to someone to regulation, so Now let's actually import that edit that I already did. Let's see something. Now you see it actually collected you can see the test ID and the test info. Now let's upload the student. Now you upload the student, and please have a test ID generator. Like I also do a video about the test ID generator, so it will actually help you generate test ID, so it will be much easier for you. Now let's try this test using this first user. Now let's use this student ID to actually take the test. Here, let's go back. Let's say the student has already logged in his own account, so we actually share the link, the QR code, all this is the same. So now I click on start test. You see, let's put the test ID, let's put the right test ID this time. Let's validate. As automatically it actually allows us to start writing the test because we actually provided the right test ID. Now these questions are much. Of roughly 50% here. So anyway, I actually answered the questions, the color will change to green. So let's answer this question randomly this time, around lunchtime, and all the timer is actually counting from the database. Once user actually exceed its time, to not actually allow the user, like normally submit it for the user on the server, or so definitely actually submit it for the user on the server, or if it happens user actually disconnected from internet and the user connected for a very long time, it automatically submits the quiz for the user because the user has actually exceeded his time. Now let's submit this quiz. So now it was because I allowed the user to actually see his score. So if I didn't allow the user to see their score, so they can only see their score, or and I also allow them to see their test data, where they got it wrong and where they got it right. So most of the stuff have been already here, so they also see their data, everything that they needed. Now that's all. Okay, now let's actually go back to the admin panel. Let's say we are back in our admin panel. You can click on manage the test. You can click on view results. So you can see, so this user actually scored 5 points. Each question was on 1 point, and the time that the user spent was 134 seconds. But you can actually view the user data. Okay, this is user performance. Okay. This is how you view the report, or you can view the report. You can see these are the questions that the user actually answered. You see where the user got it right, where the user got it wrong. So most of the data, most of the questions, all the questions that the user actually answered, so you definitely see it here. The option that is selected, and you can actually update. You can also actually give them score, update score for them. That's all. I can also export your result to Excel. This export to JSON is for developers. Please, you as a normal user, to avoid this, so you will not actually complicate things for yourself. Now let's see what happens in our Excel sheet. Now you can see these are most of the data that you need. This is the test ID, this is the test ID, the student name. All these ones are not actually relevant data, except you want to use it for, you actually want to use to analyze, maybe for record keeping. Or the most important thing, this is your test ID, student name, and the score. Why for the offline? Don't forget to actually export the offline solution. Now like this is the student name on the score. So now you can see when you are using close access, like when you are using when you are using test ID or student rec to identify each student, so it will actually make life easier for you when you are working both offline and online. So for you to make student result, it will actually be more easier for you, because you can see now this test ID, this student ID, this one here, this ID here, and the ID here actually match, and the test ID actually match. That is student rec offline, student ID or online actually match. So for you now to actually complete this course analysis, so it will actually be more easier for you. Now in the next video, I will also teach you guys on how to use my test ID generator.